Although you haven't corrected any issues with their memory or with their fears, you have gained their trust. If they trust you, you have a better chance that they will take direction from you. Sundowning is a symptom of dementia. Sundowning is a state of confusion that tends to begin in the late afternoon and can carry on into the night. Symptoms of sundowning include confusion, anxiety, aggression, and a wanting to go home, even when they are at home or the place they reside. As a disease like Alzheimer's progresses, moments of unfamiliar faces, losing track of time or place, tend to increase. In the late afternoon, those moments of fog grow closer apart. When I'm spending time with a person who begins to show symptoms of sundowning, the impression I get is that it's getting later in the day. And as darkness approaches, we do have a tendency to want to get ourselves home safely. It is a signal to start making our way home. Caregivers might respond harshly to a person who's asking to go home when they're already home. The way this can go is something like, "All right, well, I'm going home now." "You are home." "Since when is this my home?" "You've lived here for a year, and sadly to say, you're probably gonna live here till you die." "When will I go home?" "Never. This is where you live." Just imagine you woke up one day and you didn't recognize anyone in your house. You would be frightened. You don't remember where you are. You don't recognize the people around you. If they react harshly to you, your anxiety and fear will simply continue to escalate. The number one thing I want to share when dealing with someone who begins to show symptoms of sundowning, be sure your tone communicates warmth, making them feel safer, making them feel heard, and feeling like you're their ally in this confusing situation. Although you haven't corrected any issues with their memory or with their fears, you have gained their trust. If they trust you, you have a better chance that they will take direction from you. Avoid telling them they're wrong. They are wrong. But don't tell them they're wrong. If you simply didn't recognize anyone in your home, them telling you, "I'm your daughter, I'm your son," isn't really gonna help because the memory simply isn't there to draw from. So contradicting the way they feel will escalate feelings of anxiety and fear. Another shady practice from tired healthcare workers is lying to the clients and residents. You tell them their son's coming to visit or person X is coming to visit because you know it'll gain their cooperation. I think telling fibs with dementia patients and clients can be incredibly useful at keeping a person with dementia safe. I use this technique very prudently ever since one incident. I had to get someone ready. Family was coming to visit them. When I encouraged this person to get ready in time for their visit, they responded with, "Oh no, you people, you always say this. I don't believe anything you say. I'm not going." I felt that it was really unfortunate that that joy of getting a visitor and that excitement was kind of robbed from them. They don't get to have that exciting feeling. They feel distrustful, like it's too good to be true. So I would be very careful with using promises of children and family visiting in order to gain cooperation, unless it's really going to happen. Once that trust is broken, it's hard to get back because, again, their memory is foggy. You're building distrust with the client. They may not specifically remember you or what you've said or the promises you've broken, but they do seem to carry a memory of promises being broken and not being able to trust. The second technique I'm sharing is what I call anchoring the client. Rather than telling lies to gain their cooperation, they already trust you. You're speaking to them gently. You're being understanding of their concern. You're listening to their concerns. You're not contradicting them. You can begin to anchor them by name dropping a person in their life who often visits a child or a spouse or a pet that they like to talk about. When they hear familiar names, although they don't recognize you, they will begin to feel safer with you because you seem to know them. So they must be somewhere they belong. Asking them questions about key people in some of their photos could help them feel safe. Complimenting their belongings points out to them that they're surrounded by their things. you're surrounded by your things at home. So although they can't remember where home is or who you are, they do recognize some of their belongings, and they will know that these things would be in their bedroom. Quilts or stuffed toys that are sentimental to them, they can begin to feel more at home. Once the person who is sundowning feel a little bit anchored in their environment through your conversations and your redirecting, you may have an opportunity there to say, you know what, everything's closed right now, it's late, and most people have gone to sleep by now. Why don't we call it a night, and in the morning we'll figure this out. When they wake up in the morning, they may not have that urge to take off until much later in the day. So when your sundowning client wants to take off and go home, and they already are, don't contradict them, become their ally. Let them feel safe in your company. Anchor them through the environment, in whatever context you're able to, that's relevant for this client. And if you can't convince them that they are home, at least convince them that they have a safe place need to stay tonight. In the morning, you're gonna help them figure it out. My name is Ruthann. I'm a personal support worker and the owner of Forest City Home Care. Thanks for watching.